Now, with all these statistics now, what we're really doing is a simple linear regression by hand. And in this case, this is the linear regression that we're trying to estimate. We're trying to explain the variance of the security, what's called the dependent variable, by the variation in the independent variable, which is the return of the market in this case. And what we know after the statistics that we've calculated so far is that we know the expected return of the security, the mean of the distribution, to be 4.2%. We know the expected return of the market, the mean of the distribution for the market, to be 6%. And we just calculated the beta between the stock and the market, the beta of the security in this case, and the beta of the security is 0.68. And as you see this little formula here, we know everything in this equation except for this thing right there. And that's called the alpha return. Statistically, the alpha over time should be 0. But in investments now, you like to see positive alphas. You don't want to see negative alphas. That's for another course. In this case, though, we want to calculate the alpha. And so as you see here, we have one equation with one unknown. And if we solve for alpha, we get 0.12. Now, knowing all of that, that allows us to define in investments what we call the characteristic line. And this is the return of the security explained by the return of the market. And for this security, its alpha is 0.12, its beta is 0.68. Put any expected return for the market in this equation, and it'll tell you what to expect for the security return. Now, that's all fine, but the question, of course, is how well does this equation work? Is it a very good equation or a very bad equation? Well, recall that over here, we calculated the coefficient of determination, the R-squared, which is simply the correlation coefficient, the little r squared. And we found 44.81%. So this equation that we developed here with this simple linear regression explains roughly 45% of the returns of the security. What explains the other 55%? We don't know. Okay, that's beyond the model that we created here.